Well, divisibility has a lot to do with factors. A lot to do with factors. Okay, so now as an example, let's say 4. What is 4 divisible by? I can divide 4 by certain numbers to get an integer. Yes, positive, negative, but we're going to focus on the positive. So 4 is divisible by 1. Everything is divisible by 1. 4 also is divisible by 2, because 4 divided by 2 is an integer. And 4 is also divisible by 4, because 4 divided by 4 is an integer. What if I want to write the factored form using prime numbers? It's called prime factorization of a number. How will I write 4? I will write 4 as equals 2 times 2, or 2 to the second power. So 2 times 2. This is what I meant. So 4 is divisible by 1, 2, and 4. Now, all even, so this is the first rule. All even numbers are divisible by 2. If it's an even number, definitely you can divide it by 2, for sure. In other words, what I'm saying is 2 is a factor of all even numbers. 2 is a factor of all even numbers. Okay. Divisibility by 3. A number is divisible. In other words, can be divided evenly. Is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits, of its digits, is divisible by 3. I will put in parentheses also by 9, so I don't have to write the same rule twice. So 3 and 9 have the same rule. If I have a number, so let's say 27, and I want to see if it's divisible by 3 or divisible by 9. What do I have to do? Add the 2 digits. 2 plus 7 is 9. Is 9 divisible by 9? Yes. So the number is divisible by 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. So then the number is divisible by 3. So the rule is the same for 3 and 9. I add up the digits. If the resulting number is divisible by 3, I'll say 27 is divisible by 3. If the resulting sum is divisible by 9, I'll say it's divisible by 9. Okay. Rule number 3. Divisibility by 5. A number has to end in 0 or 5. Any number that ends in 0 or 5 is divisible by 5. Examples: 10, 15, 25, 35, of course negative as well. All these numbers end in 0 or 5, so they are divisible by 5. Number 4, these two they're close. By 10, only if the number ends in 0, like 20, 100, and so on. So divisibility by 5, 0 or 5 at the end. Divisible by 10, it has to have 0 at the end. Divisibility by 6. How do I know that a number is divisible by 6? I have to determine, first of all, it has to be an even number because it has to be divisible by 2, and it has to be divisible by 3. So a number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by 2 and it's divisible by 3. So obviously it has to be an even number. In addition to being an even number, it has to be divisible by 3. Not all even numbers are divisible by 3. 10 is divisible by 2, but not by 3. So let's say 36. 36 is divisible by 2 and is divisible by 3. So therefore is divisible by 6. It's an even number, and in addition is divisible by 3, so it's divisible by 6. So again, a number is divisible by 6 if it's divisible by 2 and 3. Last one, divisibility by 8, which is a little bit stretching it, to my opinion, because after we establish 5 and 10 and 2 and 3, I really don't need 8 and 9 because I can always divide sequentially by 2 first, by 3, and so on and so forth. So this is a little bit stretching it. So I'm not really interested, but I'm going to give you the rule. The last 3 digits form a number divisible by 8. This is stretching it. It really is a little bit beyond the scope. Once I know 2, 3, 5, 10, and even 6, everything else, it's way too much, I think. Good. So we're going to have examples with the area as well. So I can say that we completed 1.1 and 1.2. Let's look at practice. Okay. So let's see what we want to practice with. If you have encountered problems or you are looking at your own assignments and you want us to work on something, please choose. Okay, so I think that this is clear. We know what the answer is here, right? Find the product. Can anyone help?
2.
0, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's take a look and see what else. This is clear. Any multiplication by 1 doesn't change the number. It's negative 29. Okay, so find the following quotient. We are dividing. I'm more interested in getting the sign. Can anyone tell us the sign of the outcome?
Negative.
Yes, it's a negative number over positive. We divide and we get
12.
Good.
12.
Good. Okay, we divide 2 negatives. What do we get?
Positive.
Good. So
Positive.
can I, perfect. Can I say, forget about the symbol, the sign. Can I say that 4 is a factor of 12? Yes or no?
I think yes.
Yes. 4 is a factor of 12. So, dividend over divisor equals quotient plus remainder over the divisor. What is this? And I'm going to give an example right now. This example that we just looked at. 12 is the dividend. The divisor is 4. The quotient is 3. The remainder is 0. There was no remainder. over the divisor. This is the way we write a division. The dividend divided by the divisor, 12 divided by 4 equals the quotient, which is 3, plus the remainder, which is none, over the divisor. Can anyone remind us what did we establish that 0 over 4 was equal to?
0.
0. Because there is no remainder. When there is no remainder, the quotient is by itself, which means that this number is a factor of this number because there is no remainder. So therefore, from here we know, since there is no remainder, 4 is a factor of 12. Division, factors, multiplication, they're all related. So please understand this procedure. When I divide the dividend by the divisor, I get a quotient. I may or may not get a remainder. If I get a remainder, for example, 9 divided by 4 is 2, but the remainder is 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So the dividend is 9. The divisor is 4. The quotient is 2 plus sign. The remainder is 1. Again, the divisor is 4. What do I conclude? Is 4 a factor of 9 or not?
No.
No, 4 is not a factor of 9. Is there another way of writing this? 9 is not by 4. What word am I missing?
Divisor.
Divisible.
Yeah, this one.
Excellent. Thank you. So I have two ways of saying this. 4 is not a factor of 9 because the division has a remainder. Or I say 9 is not divisible by 4 because there is a remainder. So these two mean the same thing. This is like a foreign language. We have to understand the terminology in order to understand what's happening. Good. Okay, the same thing, same type of division. Find the product. I think we don't have difficulties with that. Please stop me if you want me to stop at a particular problem. I just want to browse them quickly to see if there is anything that you may have difficulties with. Please stop me if you have anything that you want me to, and I know exactly where I have to stop and discuss things. I think that here we don't, but if you do say yes, please say yes, if you think so. Okay, that's division again. Is 7 a factor of 28?
Yes.
Yes. Because 28 is divisible by 7. Good. Good. Okay, so now we want to divide 0 by 47. What would you say?
Zero.
What about 47 over 0?
Undefined.
Undefined. It does not exist. Very good. Excellent. Okay, there's some division here. Please stop me. There is a lot of repetition in these problems, and I'm sorry about that. Fill in the box. Please choose a problem from these. Let's work on one of them. Any?
Let's do B.
Let's do D. 4 multiplied by which number is negative 12?
-3.
Good, excellent. So, notice that I did not use a box. I use our best friend x again. Notice that this is multiplication. I cannot, even if I want to, I cannot take 4 to the other side like I did before, because the operation is not addition or subtraction. In this case, I have to use the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So I have to divide both sides by 4. When I divide this side by 4, I simply get x. When I divide this side by 4, what do I get? Math already told us. When I divide this side by 4, what do I get?
But yeah, -3.
-3.
Indeed. Is it true? I have no clue. But I don't need anybody to tell me whether it's correct or not. All I have to do is go back here and replace replace x by -3. Is this product -12? If you say yes, then I'll say yes. If you say no, then I'll say this is incorrect. Is this okay? Now, understand the difference. Understand the difference between these two operations. As you notice, I can't wait till chapter 2 to present these things. I have to insert them in your bloodstream here now. Okay. So 6 and x were added. That's why I moved the term to the other side. But here, 4 and x are not added. They're multiplied. So I have to choose or use the opposite operation. It's not the opposite, but it's the multiplicative inverse, to be exact. But it's the operation that removes the product. And the operation that it removes the product is division. That's why in this case we divide both sides by 4. I cannot move 4 because there is a powerful operation here. It's not addition or subtraction. It's a very powerful one, which is undone only by this operation. So I have to divide both sides. Okay. Good. Okay, let's choose one from here, please.
C.
Okay, perfect. So we want 9 divided by x equals -3. Okay, so I know what this is. How do we call this?
Proportions.
Proportion. Very good. If it's a proportion, what am I allowed to do in a proportion?
Cross multiply.
I am going to cross multiply. 9 times 1 is 9. X times -3. We put the number in front, and it's -3x. Because it's multiplication, I don't have to show it. Which operation I have to perform here, or what do I have to do to both sides to get x by itself?
Divide -3.
Divide, indeed, by -3. When I divide this side by -3, I get just plain x. That's what I want. I want to solve for x. Can anyone divide for us 9 by -3 and tell us what to write?
-6? No, like 3.
Good. Is this true? I have no idea. I have no idea. But I go back to the problem. I replace this by -3. Because 9 divided by -3 is -3, I will say yes. This is what we are going to be facing later on. Not that little box. Okay? Moving on. So now you can put in the little box -3. Same thing here. Okay, which operation would you perform to both sides? This is my x. What should I do to both sides here?
By
Yes, division by -12. I'm not moving the term because it's a product. Good? As it's not a term. Which number divided by -7 is 0? There is only one number that I divide by -7 to get 0. 0, indeed. Perfect. Excellent. Calculate. That's clear. I don't think that this will create any issues. Okay. Use the associative property of multiplication. So you will be using the grouping symbol around 5 times 8. The order and the grouping are not important. You can multiply 5 times 3, get 15, and then multiply by 8. It's the same thing. Or 5 times 8, get 40, multiply by 3, 120. No matter what, in any order, you'll get the same answer. The same thing, this is 6 times 8 or 8 times 6. Rewrite the statement. Okay, we want to look at this for a second. Because now this is the distributive law. However, I don't recommend the distributive law here. I recommend order of operations. Order of operations means we have to perform this addition first. This is a multiplication. Yes, you can distribute. But it's easier if we perform the operations in parentheses. And this is 11. And now we multiply and get 77. Yes, it's the same thing if you distribute, but it's more work to do. You will get 14 plus 63, So in this case, depending on what they want and how they want us to write the answer, but if they want just this step, then you have to perform it. But if I want to simplify, this is what I would do first. 2 plus 9, and then multiply by 7. It says do not simplify, so they want you to write 14 plus 63. Rewrite this using the distributive property. That's fine. Use the commutative property here. That's fine. You can use any calculate. Yes. No problem here. Okay, find the following product. Okay, let's work on this problem. So -5 and 4, -2, -1, and 2. So here is what I recommend. First, I want to address these parentheses and the sign. I count 1, 2, 3 negatives. Because I counted 3 negatives, I know the final answer will be negative. Take the sign out of the way first. Then, do anything you want in any order you want. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 1 times 2 is 4. You multiply these two, you're going to get -80. First, take the sign out of the way. 1, 2, 3. When I multiply or divide 3 negatives, the outcome is negative. And then you can do whatever you want. 5 times 2, 4 times 2, 5 times 2 is 10, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 10 is 80. Any order, any grouping, because they're all factors. All these are factors. Nothing is added or subtracted. How do I know? Product, 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 product. They're all factors. First, get the sign out of the way and then do whatever you want. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is still 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 5 is 80. 5 times 2, 4 times 1, it doesn't matter because they're all factors. If something else intervenes here, that's a different story. But because they are all multiplied. Okay.
Just to clarify that, if there were 4 negatives in that problem,
Yes.
then it would be positive?
Absolutely. Yes. Now here, because there is a 0 in there, the answer is 0. Don't multiply anything. If any of the factors is 0, you're done. The answer is 0. Okay, so we still have 5 minutes, right? Where is my, yes? 3 minutes? Okay, so let's choose any of these. Well, there is really nothing here. 6 times -5, this is -30. So -6 minus 5, I owe you $6. I asked for 5 more, so it's -11. Rewrite without parentheses. You will write -6 minus 5, of course. So what do they want with a new result? Do parentheses matter? Yes, here parentheses matter because otherwise without parentheses it would be 6 minus 5. It would not be 6 times -5. Here parentheses don't matter because -6 minus 5 will always be the same. Okay? And that's what it means. So the new result will not make any difference. But if you write without parentheses, you get 1 here. But if you write without parentheses, you still get the same answer here. Okay, the perimeter and area. Area is length times width. So for a rectangle, the area is A times B. For a triangle, base and the corresponding height. So the area of a triangle is base times the corresponding height on the base. If you choose this one to be the base, then you have to determine the corresponding height divided by 2. Okay. That's the same thing for the area. That's the same thing for the area. And what was her total score? Okay. It is the opposite of 6. Okay, good. So please, by Thursday, finish up everything in 1.1 and 1.2 with minimum 70%. I'm happy with 70%. So you have 2 assignments for 1.1 and 2 assignments to complete for 1.2.